8646. We thank the general. Friday mornings is something different on 89.5 FM. It's JP's Talk About Town.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University. This is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Good morning, Westfield. Welcome to Tiger Talk Live, all things Westfield Technical Academy. You're in the flow with Rob and Joe. Good morning, Mr. O'Larry.
Good morning, Mr. Langoni.
How are you?
Doing okay.
I am too, although a little bittersweet today.
It is
a little bittersweet. It's our last official broadcast from the press room. The press room, like so many other happy memories in my life, is going the way of all human flesh. Patrick is ceasing his operations today. We wish him well as he redirects his energies and his priorities. We also wish him well, too. He's going out for some surgery on his shoulder, so we want to wish him a speedy recovery.
Oh, he's happy about that part of it.
And Godspeed. Anything for a vacation, right, Patrick? So we definitely want to wish you, actually, Patrick's over in the corner there. We want to wish you a very speedy recovery and a reminder that if you need anything, we can do anything for you. The Academy is here for you. So give us a holler.
Yeah, I'm going to miss this venue. It's been, I think this is my third year.
Yeah, correct.
Third or
Third.
Yeah, because we started with Zap a couple years back.
Yep.
And then second year.
And it's always been here for you guys.
It's always been here. So I'm going to miss it. I like kind of, getting out of school, coming down, having a snack and seeing some folks and
You know, Patrick said the same thing. He goes, "It'll be nice to get out of the press room for about 2 hours
Yeah.
on a Thursday morning, or get nice
Yeah.
to get out of the paper
It's
for
always nice when you
a
can get
couple
off
hours."
your own
Yeah.
turf for a little
So
bit.
what's our plan going forward, Pete? We're a couple of
So you guys will be at
couple of
the
weeks at the university.
at the studio because Mark Auerbach is taking over, and all his guests are by phone. So we have to do it up there. And then when Patrick's ready to come back, we will move to the press room stage, which will be our new home until the
Tigers Pride
studios.
stage.
Oh,
Sorry,
That's okay.
Freudian slip, if you will.
I'm having a bad day too. So the Tigers Pride stage, and then eventually the studio over at Westfield Technical
Tigers
Academy.
Pride at the wonderful Westfield Technical
So,
Academy.
Right.
Pat, you'll get to get out at least every Thursday, and we
Pat,
get,
now we can buy you complimentary
That's right.
coffee and pastries. How about that? There you go. And your guests, of course.
of course.
Will Patrick's slot still be
Yes, it will
the
still be
same?
over there. Yep.
Okay, so the schedule will be the same,
That
and then
means
the
I'll be
Super will
going-
still come in at 9.
Correct.
Or
Yep.
9.
yeah, that other show that
The
follows
other-
ours.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So that's
Something-
that's
some
that's what's going on.
Spotlight, was it?
Spot- yeah.
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 A little fuzzy on the details.
Oh boy,
So.
he covered for you guys last week up at the Westfield Science Fair.
He did.
Yes,
We
he
got a
did.
little jammed up because of the 2-hour delay.
Correct.
My wife actually had an ultrasound scheduled for that morning, so she was on time, but my kids had a delay, which meant that I had to bring them to school. And
Same
let's-
thing with Chris Rogers.
let's say the conditions of the road in Springfield, where I live, were less than desirable.
Right.
And that was a painfully long drive that morning. But anyway, we all got to where we were going, so.
There you go.
Yeah, how did the science fair go?
Well, when we started at 8 o'clock, you could actually see to the other side of the gym. Mm-hmm. When we wrapped up at 10, you couldn't see more than 20 feet behind you
Really?
because there were so many people in there.
That's great. I haven't been in a few years, but
It was it was
I was
pretty
a
cool.
judge a couple of years. Yeah, it's always it's great. Great talking to the kids and
Some of the kids talked about their projects and
Yeah.
things like that.
On the
and it was a
radio,
lot
yeah.
of fun. Yeah.
yeah, cool. That's good.
I wasn't obviously able to go, but I was at the high school the next morning for a meeting, and I got to go in to see the projects because they were, everything was still up and it was available. And yeah, there was some. Of course, we didn't have it last year, which was my first year in the district because of snow. So it was nice to see not only the breadth of projects, but the quality, the depth of some of them. So some really great things happening relative to science and STEM education here in the district, right?
That's correct. We got a lot going on.
With, just a note to the public: you don't need, if you're looking for good STEM opportunities for your kids, you don't need to look any farther than the Westfield Public Schools. We have everything that you need right here, so take advantage of your resources. Yeah.
And on that note, I had the opportunity yesterday to visit Paper Mill School for the first time. This is Career Tech Ed Week.
That's right. National Career
at the
Tech Ed
national
Week.
level, so we got a few little things going on, but we've been reading to elementary students the last several years.
Got some excellent feedback from the folks that were over there yesterday.
So I'll tell you, I just went and observed, and it was awesome to see our students reading and talking about their technical shops and careers, and then just having the little ones kind of interface. It was hands-on, it was engaging, it was educational, obviously, but it was just so cool. I don't know how else to describe it. I mean, everybody was getting into it. The teachers were excited. Our kids were excited. The little guys and girls were excited. They were planting, horticulture had them planting sunflower seeds, and manufacturing had the robot going on. All the kids got to operate that, and electrical, I don't know, they were shocking kids. No, only kidding. No, they,
Very electrifying experience over at Paper Mill School, if you will.
and Allied, of course, was there, and all our shops went, and it was very, very cool.
So, what were some of our other events for CTE Week? Since we're on the, actually, you jumped right in where I was going next. So, once again, great minds think alike, Mr.
Yes, sir.
O'Leary.
Yes, sir. Well, we're on Monday. We hosted about 50 students from South Middle.
Right.
The first 58th graders that submitted their application for admissions to the guidance counselors. We hosted them for a little meet and greet and a tour of all our shops, and just kind of pump them up and get them excited about what lies ahead for 9th grade. North Middle will be coming in about an hour.
That's right. Yep,
Again,
9
another
o'clock.
50 students. And from what I've heard, early indications, we are going to have a ton of applicants for the fall. I think South Middle we're nearing 100.
Hey, bring it on. As I said at our joint school committee general advisory committee meeting, my hope is to admit 160 freshmen this year. So,
Growing pains, if you will.
Apply early, apply often.
That's right.
James Michael Curley,
Yeah.
if you will. So, and then sort of the jewel and the crown of our annual CTE week festivities happens tomorrow afternoon.
That's correct. For our CNA pinning, and we actually have the department head in conjunction with Skills USA, which is what we're also talking about
Right.
today. So maybe this is a good time to introduce.
But before, I just want to mention that we have one other piece that's unusual to this year as it happens. Tomorrow morning, we are going to be moving the Pitts biplane, our
correct. Yeah.
aerobatic biplane, which is currently stored at the hangar 2 at Barnes Airport,
Right.
is going to make its permanent home at the Academy tomorrow.
Do I need to wake up early for this move again?
Well, no.
Not like last time.
Fortunately,
Yeah, okay.
it's a much smaller plane.
I know. I've seen one of those.
It is going to fit very nicely, delicately but nicely on the horticulture flatbed trailer. So joint venture between horticulture and aviation. We recently had a large 11 by 11 overhead door installed at the Academy so that we can permanently house a plane for the teachers to deliver direct instruction on the aircraft to the underclassmen.
That's
So it
great.
represents a great, how do I want to say it, a great additional layer to the education of the underclassmen because they'll have an opportunity to work on a live functional aircraft in the Academy.
Yeah, because the way the aviation program is, the way it's presented, laid out, the 9th and 10th graders, they don't always get to go to the hangar
Right.
to work
Much
on.
of their curriculum doesn't involve.
Yeah.
Hands-on?
Well, it
no,
doesn't
hands-on
involve.
on a full
It doesn't
aircraft.
involve the curriculum modules that require the hangar atmosphere, the live aircraft, the ability
Right.
to taxi out onto a runway. But it is important for students at all levels to have contact with a live aircraft. So this is a phenomenal opportunity. So the move is going to start around 9:30, and all things being equal, they should arrive to a delegation of state and local politicians and dignitaries at the Academy at 10. So that's sort of a nice additional layer to our CTE week celebrations for 2018.
That's great. And then on to CNA pinning to end our great week. So Maureen Belargian, welcome back to the show.
Mrs. B, how many are receiving their pins tomorrow?
Good morning. Yes, we have 13
Wow.
seniors that will be receiving their CNA pins. The pinning ceremony is at 12:30 in the upper campus at the school. We have a great keynote speaker, Erica Jones. She's a nurse practitioner. She teaches over at Springfield Technical Community College, and she also works over at Western Mass Hospital. So she's on our advisory board. So she represents STIC, and we also see her senior year when we go over to Western Mass Hospital. A couple of our seniors, Erica Merrick and Ala Dukan, just met with her last week, so it was nice.
Now, this is a pretty large class, correct? The 13?
13, yeah.
Yeah.
It's over. We, we took one over thinking that one would drop, and didn't happen.
Wow.
Everybody stuck it out.
Wow,
so
that's something.
It's a great group.
It
of
is a
kids.
great group.
We have, Anita.
Colorful group of gals.
yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Anita Mosachuk is second in the class, and we have Lisa, who's fourth in the class, and Elena and Lisa, a lot of kids in the top 10.
Yeah.
So Erica Merrick, I'd like to put a shout out to her, just got accepted to 3 colleges.
Very
Hofstra
nice.
University, Wheaton University, and Quinnipiac for their pre-med programs.
Hey, that is-
heavy hitters, if you
That
will.
is
Yes.
great.
Yep.
Is she leaning towards?
She's leaning towards Hofstra.
Yeah.
Embarrassment by overchoice.
Wow, that's great.
So
Yeah.
that's really exciting.
And of course, her brother was in our IT program.
Yes, he was.
And he went on to Elms and still employed for the town of Agawam in the IT department. So
and many
they've
of
done
the-
very well for themselves.
Yes,
That's
Many of
great.
the seniors also got accepted right into American International College's nursing program. So about
Yellow
three,
Jackets.
about three
That's
of
right.
them that are accepted in there, and they're not sure if that's what they're going to pick. But it's been nice.
Great
nice
place.
to
I got
see
one of
that.
my degrees at AIC, and I serve as an adjunct faculty member there. So can't say good enough things about AIC.
They do a nice job. Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, we are excited.
That's great.
It should be a nice event.
So it's not in Tigers Pride tomorrow?
No, it's in the auditorium.
Excellent.
Oh,
It's a big
large
group.
venue, Mr. Olari. Large
The
venue.
Westfield Technical Academy Band will be performing. So they're
can't
doing
wait.
3 numbers.
Oh, it's always a nice event, but with a different venue, that's going to be exciting. I'm excited. Very good. Well, a great way to end the week, and great way to kick off vacation.
Yes.
So
yeah.
that's great. Excellent. Good.
I can't imagine it's already February vacation.
I
You know what it's
know.
like when we get back. It's a downhill slide.
Yeah.
Moves so fast.
Yeah. Game on. Yeah. Out with the 12th graders, in with
In
the
with
8th
the new.
graders. That's right.
All right, producer Pete's telling me it's time for a break, so we're going to pay some bills and.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Longmeadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Longmeadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. Visit on the web at baystatedental.com. WSFD-LP.com. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes & Noble College Bookstore at Westfield State University, right here in the Ely Campus Center. Whether you're a student, faculty member, or friend of the university, it's the place to shop. Everything from Westfield State t-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise to all of your academic needs. Offering textbook materials in new, used, ebook, and rental formats. Visit the bookstore on campus or online at www.westfieldstate.bncollege.com. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Commercial Distributing Company of Westfield. Now in its third generation of family ownership, Commercial is one of the premier beverage distributors of Western Massachusetts. The Plasek family and the staff of Commercial Distributing wishes you good times throughout the year and urges you to drink responsibly. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646. Wednesday mornings start off right from 6 to 8 a.m. with Tina Gorman and Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
And we're back. Tiger Talk Live. All things
Good thing I didn't open his mic just 2 seconds earlier.
Westfield Technical Academy. Back in the flow with Rob and Joe. Mr. O'Leary, it was just dawned on me that when we get back from vacation, I will be missing 2 or 3 Thursdays.
That is correct.
We'll be
yes.
having a guest host because I'm going out.
Baby Vincent.
That's right. I'm going out on March 1st for paternity leave. My son Vincent is going to be delivered on Thursday, March 1st. So I will be home with Mommy, who will be recovering, and new baby, and Mr. Daly will be doing the yeoman's job, taking my place. So you'll have 2 or 3 weeks, a little slice of heaven with Rob and Kevin.
Well, we'll take good care of things while you're out. No worries there.
No, never worried.
And
and I know Mr. Daly looks forward to the opportunity to get out of his cage, if you will.
and wait a minute. So that show, no, we won't be at.
No, you'll be at the college.
We'll be at the college.
college,
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
we won't be
March
back
1st.
at Tigers Pride. Yeah.
So
all right, yeah.
So I'm out March 1st. I'll be in March 2nd, and then I'll be out for until the 20th, give or take, seeing how
Yeah.
my wife's recovery goes.
Well,
But,
that's your priority.
yeah.
No, that's number one. So
Looking
you,
forward to it.
You do what you need to
Looking
do, and
forward to it.
all will be well with the crew.
But you
back.
realize, too, if we're up at the college, he can call in and say hi.
Well, that's it. Live caller. That's we do have that capability, correct?
Correct, yes.
Awesome. So it'll be a new sort of a new layer to the things that we do on the Rob and Joe show.
Yeah, that'll
Live
be
callers.
nice.
Awesome. Good.
Excellent. Good.
All right. And today, we rather than our usual Friday, we have buffet today in Tigers Pride. The Pride is closed tomorrow for shop cleanup, which is customary before a vacation. And Josh Push, what's on the menu?
Today we have England clam chowder, French onion soup, carved baked ham, broiled Boston Scaffold, big stuffed chicken breast, buttermilk pancakes, Western scrambled eggs, omelet, Belgian waffles, egg Benedict, sausage, bacon, home fries, vegetable,
It's a breakfast buffet?
Yeah.
Breakfast buffet.
fresh
Yeah,
fruit
Petey.
rolls,
Oh, boy.
pastries, coffee, tea, decaf, and soda.
I know a certain Kevin M. Daly who's champing at the bit. This is one of his favorite events of the whole year from a culinary perspective.
Yeah, he's actually his dad, Mr. Tom Daly. Many of you know Mr. Daly is longtime basketball coach at Westfield High and the principal over there for many years. He's coming in today.
Nice.
And my cousins are coming in. I got some guests.
Yep, I'll be there. Sue Dargy, our curriculum
Oh,
director, is
wonderful.
having lunch with me today. I believe Zap is going to be in the house having lunch. So it's a real fun fest down at the Pride today.
Yeah, that'll be a nice day.
I may have to
Excellent.
join you guys, but
Well,
usually I'm by myself. so
Please.
Eric Carmen, all
I'm
by
just
myself.
the one. Yes, yes,
Well,
exactly.
Don't want to be all by myself. All right. We got a lot of guests
We
today.
are surrounded
Lot
on
of
all
guests.
sides by
Studio-
happy, shiny people.
Studio
so.
audience packed. So let's get right to it. So let's kick it back to Maureen Belarjan. Okay, we're going to talk about skills, and I think Mr. Langone and myself, we talked about I'd like to have, just like we featured National Technical Honor Society for the month of January, it'd be nice to really focus on the upcoming weeks on skills, because it's a pretty cool thing. It's a pretty massive undertaking.
And a lot of moving parts.
A lot of moving parts. It's specific only to technical schools. So let me kick it over to you, and then why don't you just kind of, for the sake of the listeners, give us kind of that overview of what it's all about, why we're involved, and then we'll hear from the students. How's that sound?
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Great.
Skills USA is a national organization. I don't have any figures in front of me, but there's about 300,000 members.
Wow.
Not Westfield, but Massachusetts alone has 35 plus thousand members, and it's an organization that teaches technical skills, professional skills, and workplace skills. So this year's theme is a Job Ready Day 1. The kids join the Skills USA. We hold monthly meetings, and sometimes we have more than monthly meetings, and we go over employability, leadership. There's also a safety piece. Kids will be competing March 13th in a big district competition. We'll be up against 9 other area vocational schools. We'll be out to McCann Technical High School out there in North Adams. So we have 50 kids going out.
Wow.
We have 10 shops being represented.
Is this the largest group we've had?
This will be the largest group, yes,
Okay.
going out to McCann Tech.
So as far as Westfield Tech, skills is fairly new to our school. I mean, it hasn't been around too long.
Yeah, this is the fifth or
okay.
maybe the 6th year.
And every year it's growing?
Every year it's growing. Last year we took it was supposed to be 40 kids. We took 34 kids to the district competition.
That is
so
great.
So to be taking 50, it's going to be exciting. So.
And it's only for...
It's only career technical education, and then there's some post-secondary, dental assisting, medical assisting, LPN, some other programs that are post-secondary in the career technical education schools also are part of Skills USA. So we'll be competing. It's very exciting. We have a big bus going out, big King Ward bus, and some chaperones.
We have a couple other instructors involved too, correct? Can you...
Wayne Bush will be a chaperone this year.
The senior Bush.
The senior Bush. And he has 5 students competing in carpentry and cabinet making. And this year, Mr. Gary Nato is going from manufacturing. Mm-hmm. He has... maybe 9, 10 kids competing this year in a variety of subjects.
10, yeah.
10.
10 for manufacturing.
So, we have some manufacturing students here competing, so we can ask them what they're competing in, and it's very exciting. Allied
So
Health
how does it all start? Like, how do students know? When do they know about this? And do you do a school-wide presentation? Is it more word of mouth with each shop?
Each shop has a advisor.
Okay.
That is signed up. So first I have to go and ask the shops who would like to be the advisor for their shop. There's no monetary
compensation
stipend for that, so it's just they're volunteering.
Yep.
And
free will offering, if you will.
Yes, free will offering. And so they recommend the students. Usually it's juniors and seniors. We do have sophomores that have been recommended this year in several of the shops.
A couple with us this morning.
Yes, a couple with us today.
Can't wait to hear from them.
So it's exciting that it's growing, and we're trying to include as many kids as possible. Funding is always a big issue. It's very expensive. The kids, it's $50 for each student to go to this district competition.
Yeah. Joe, I just think it's so cool because it plays in almost to a T what our mission is with the school as far as just preparing our students for life after high school, college and career, soft skills, workforce development skills, accountability. I mean, the list goes on and on. All the attributes that businesses are looking for from the youth growing up. I mean, we deliver at our school, and then this just, I think, is a
This
big
is just another
exclamation
layer.
point.
In
And
fact, I reflect back on my experience. I've said many times on the show, I was an assistant principal and a teacher for many years at Putnam and Springfield. So that's where I had my first contact with Skills USA. And it was not unusual for graduates to come back who had participated in Skills and relate stories about performance assessments that they were required to do in preparation for accepting employment that mirrored what they did at Skills. So in terms of a real world application, this again, it's just another layer that moves our kids that much closer to the mark. It's another leg up.
Yeah, if you have Skills USA member written on your resume, the employer is saying, "Oh, this kid has extra skills that they know about the etiquette."
Very enticing.
It's definitely a plus on your resume. So we held elections, and we have president, vice president, secretary, parliamentarian, shop ambassador, reporter. For our school, for Skills USA. We just had the Army National Guard up for a STEM program, January 15th through the 19th with robots. They came and they worked with the manufacturing department and the IT department, and then all of our ninth graders that are in engineering got to participate with the Army National Guard in this STEM robotics program, which was very exciting.
now, was that part of Skills?
It was arranged through Skills
That's
USA.
great.
So,
I tell you, I missed it, but I heard it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I'm sure Mason can speak on
Yeah,
that.
can we
when
let's
get there.
jump
Sure.
right into it, because I think that's great.
And a double whammy, because it was not only an opportunity for students to participate in something that was orientated towards Skills USA, it was also an opportunity to give them a chance to interface with the military, another career pathway, right? Another alternative, another option.
Right.
So we want to give a shout out to the National Guard, to thank them for their assistance with that venture and to thank them for their service in defending our country. We are so blessed by who they are and what they do for all of us.
You know, you guys, the students are loving this because they're out of class for the whole time and they're just sitting there watching the show.
It's great.
You got to put them to work.
We make their life.
Well,
All right, we're going to put you to work now.
you know what, Producer Pete, Mr. O'Leary and I could talk a dog off a meat wagon, so
Do you want to take a quick break and cut the music, and then we'll get right to the students
why
for
don't
the
we do
last
that?
segment?
Why don't we do that? God knows we got lots of introductions to make, so yeah, let's take a break and we'll be back. Stay tuned.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley. With convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut, visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org.
Support for community programming on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. Visit bettsplumbing.com or 14 Coleman Avenue, Westfield. Public welcome.
Underwriting for community broadcasting on WSKB is provided by the Press Room, a community coffee and snack cafe right in the heart of Westfield's Gaslight District. The news of the day always includes a steaming cup of coffee or tea, donuts, bagels, pastry, and other delectable treats at the Press Room. Open weekdays 7 to 5, Saturdays and Sundays 7 to noon. The Press Room, 62 School Street, Westfield.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Commercial Distributing Company of Westfield. Now in its third generation of family ownership, Commercial is one of the premier beverage distributors of Western Massachusetts. The Plasek family and the staff of Commercial Distributing wishes you good times throughout the year and urges you to drink responsibly. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
It's Tuesday morning from 6 till 8. Wow, it's Tuesday with Bob Plass.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
And we're back. So enough from us.
Right.
Let's hear from the assembled crew here.
All right, so we're going to start with Mason, Washington. Mason is in manufacturing. He's a 10th grader. Mason, so a couple things I'd like you to talk about for the listeners. A little bit about what you do in manufacturing, like why you pick that area, and then why you got involved in skills, and in particular, what you're competing in, because it seems very interesting.
Yeah, I'm competing in urban search and rescue, and it's kind of like when the National Guard came in, they set up an obstacle course, and we had to build a robot that they gave us, and we tried to drive it through the course in the shortest time.
So obviously directly related to your shop area.
Yeah.
How does urban rescue relate to what you guys do in manufacturing?
The computer programming,
Like the CAD?
yeah.
Okay.
And you can program them and do whatever with them.
And is this like a viable career currently within the guards?
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Why and what interested you in going into that?
It just seemed really cool to just be able to do that kind of stuff.
Okay. Are you nervous about competing?
No.
You're not. Confident young man, if you will. Okay, well that's good. That's good. What made you get involved in skills to
Mr. NATO recommended me that I should try it, and it seemed fun, so try it.
Okay.
He's kind of hard to say no to, too, Mr. Nato. He's very convincing.
So
Well, your father wouldn't have had anything to put into that either, would he?
No.
So
another child of a faculty member here, family tradition.
So when Mason goes and competes, do we at the region? No, at the district. Do we know how many other students are going to be in this specific area of urban rescue?
If a school is a total participation school, they can send 4 competitors. Our school is teacher recommendation, and it's a traditional membership, so we can only send 3 members.
Okay.
So it depends on what the school's membership is.
What your level of participation
And
is.
we won't know until we get there.
I see.
And I usually ask for a sheet of paper that lists all the competitions and what room they're going to. And there is a number that will say how many kids are competing in each area.
Okay.
So culinary arts is always huge. You know.
And will
lots of schools are-
Mason be doing a written or a performance or both?
Okay, district competition is just written exams.
Okay.
They have to take 3 of them. One is going to be in the trade area, so he'll be taking one on robotics, urban search and rescue. Then the other one is a Skills USA specific exam on employability and leadership and what the motto and creed and things are for Skills USA. And then the last exam is an OSHA safety test, and that they use that as a tiebreaker. So they're in for 2 hours of written tests.
I see.
But it's,
Okay.
it's a nice event, though. It goes all day. They feed us breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There's an opening ceremony. Obviously, the awards ceremony where the kids will find out that day if they've placed or not. If they get the gold or silver medal, they'll be moving on to state competition, which is April 26th through the 28th.
So that's must be really
So
exciting
it
for these
is very
guys.
exciting.
I mean, I've seen YouTube and pictures and everything, and then of course when they come back to school, they got their bling on and they're all excited about their accomplishments. So
Yes,
that's awesome.
15 medals last year.
Wow.
Every single shop received a medal. So.
And then you also want, before we move on to Alice, who's in manufacturing, you also wanted to mention one of our alumni.
Sure. Christian Verdon from Electrical Wiring.
Right.
Competed-
2017 graduate.
Yes, he competed in industrial motor control, and he got the gold medal at districts. He went to state competition, got the gold medal there. We went off to nationals in Louisville, Kentucky, and he was third in the nation.
Third in the
so
country. Wow.
You can't take that away.
That's incredible.
So he got the bronze medal. Bronze medal came back to the school also, so we can display his medal, and he got one also.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got a $15,000 full tuition scholarship to Lincoln Technical.
Wow, that's
and
great.
And a whole bunch, boxes full of tools, drills, backpacks.
And didn't we have another student go to nationals?
Yes. Kyle Hadley from
Right.
Automotive Technology did automotive service technology. He got the gold medal again at districts and states, and went on. He competed against 50 some odd kids.
Wow.
And finished right in the middle of the pack.
That is great.
So it was congratulations to him too.
That's super.
Yeah.
Good.
It's very exciting.
So Alice, how you doing down there? End of the bench. Hot bench, if you will.
Very
You doing
good.
okay? Thanks for being on the show.
No problem.
So Alice, you're 10th grade as well, correct?
Yes.
In manufacturing.
Yes.
Why did you choose manufacturing, as your shop, first of all?
My family members, some of them were in it, and I was interested through them, so kind of.
Do you like math?
Yes.
Yeah. Very important, if you will.
Very important and very unusual. Most women I know are not very math oriented, so that's great. Non-trad in her shop,
Non-trad STEM, like we talked about again, when we hear the word STEM. whether
cutting
it's-
edge, if you will.
I mean, you guys do STEM day in and day out. Is there a particular area in manufacturing that you enjoy?
I like CAD. That's something I would probably want to get a job in, or like
Explain
engineering.
CAD to us.
Computer aided design, like you work on a computer and design parts, make blueprints and such.
Very cool. Excellent. So you're
kind of like engineering, right?
Yes. It has that aspect, yeah.
That has that aspect, yeah. Yeah. So tell us why you are competing in skills and what area you're competing in.
I'm competing in additive manufacturing, and also Mr. Nato got me into it. And in additive manufacturing, you work on CAD and to design a car, and you have to race it. But first, in districts, you'd have to take the test and stuff.
Wait, what are you doing? Racing a car?
It's just like the Pinewood Derby.
Okay.
They're going to make a car.
Out of what kind of material?
Like 3D printing it, like it would probably be like from plastic.
Like plastics.
Yeah.
So in your specialty, you're instead of eliminating material from metals, as you guys often do in manufacturing, 3D you add, correct?
Yes.
All right. Because I've been to your shop and I've seen different prototypes of, different things you guys are working on. So you're gonna design a vehicle, and then you're gonna make the vehicle, and then you're gonna race a vehicle.
Yep.
Awesome.
Pretty cool. Excellent.
And it's a team.
Yep.
Who's your teammate?
Sasha.
Oh, okay. So she's competing with you as well.
Yes.
Very good. Very interesting.
Beats
And-
the way we used to manufacture cars, right? Whittling. Remember
Yeah.
when we whittled?
Matter of fact, I have to build a Pinewood Derby one for my
For your
grandson.
grandson.
Maybe. Oh my gosh! If I showed up with a car
That would-
made out
A
of
3D printed one? Is that going to violate?
excommunicated from Boy
Blow the
Scouts.
door.
Is that going to
Doors off
violate
of
the rules?
I probably, but I'll do it at this
Because
juncture.
you can have somebody design it that knows
Yeah.
about weighting and stuff like that.
Ooh,
That
maybe
it would
my
mean-
grandson-
Alice, Mr. O'Leary has a proposition for you.
Yeah.
Speak to him later about car manufacturing.
My grandson will go to nationals for Boy Scouts. Disqualified, if you will. Oh, that's exciting. All right. So Sasha and you have to do the same thing, the written part and all the ancillary
Yep. They'll
paperwork. Okay.
They'll take their 2 tests from districts, add up their scores,
Gotcha.
and give an average, and then, the other schools with the same teams.
They're two teams of 2?
Teams of 2.
Wow, that's exciting. Is this the first? Well, I don't know if you guys would. Well, you would
This
know
is the
this.
first time we're having an additive manufacturing.
Additive
team.
manufacturing. That is great. And Mr. Langoni, just kind of thinking ahead, and we're all over the place, as you know, and you're on the transition committee, I think, if you will, with the new alignment with the middle school. I mean,
I'm on the 7 and 8 committee. Yep.
these are the types of things that, as administration, we get excited about because we would like to bring some component of this down to the 7th and 8th graders to get them excited about STEM and math and their future education. You know, we oftentimes have sometimes that gap where kids, you know, they're engaged early on and then it kind of disappears. We're very fortunate at our school because we see the level of engagement with these kids day in and day out. So if we can bring some of these awesome, STEM type of curriculum to the 7th and 8th graders, and we are doing it now. We have a STEM program, but this stuff is
it's definitely
this is great.
You know, that's as
Big picture, if you will.
yeah, as folks may have heard if they were tuned into the last school committee meeting when the superintendent went through all of the individual committee proposals. That's very much a part of the design plan for the 5, 6, and 7, 8 schools. That's definitely a priority. And overall, we've talked about it since I arrived in the district. And you know, it's one of my real concerns is that we don't start having career-oriented conversations with kids until they're in 8th grade, if we're lucky. And by all intents and purposes in the world that we live in, that's probably too late. Those conversations really need to start happening 3rd, 4th, 5th grade to build awareness, because the world that we live in is very different from the world that you and I grew up in, where we were surrounded by it. Like I grew up in the trades. It's just different. So we need to build that awareness early. We need to broach the conversation sooner than later.
That's correct.
So who else we got here, Mr.
Well, let's I'm going to save the ladies for last, if that's okay. So let's go over to, we'll go to Damon, Mr. Lansing. First time on the show. Welcome.
Thank you.
11th grade, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. What's going on in your life? What's going on in construction? Tell us a little bit about the house. Tell us why you're getting involved with skills.
Well, yeah, we're building a house out on Pontusic Road. Building it for one of the Banish brothers. Pretty far. We're getting the trusses delivered today, I think. We've got all the exterior walls up, a lot of the interior walls up, and it's pretty exciting.
How is that as a junior in high school, when you just stop and think about it, how is that experience that you are responsible for the completion of a, I don't know how much it's going to be. I'm saying it's going to be between 200 and 300 just to be general, but I mean, that's pretty incredible. Yeah. That house will be there for a long time.
It's kind of mind-boggling. Someone's actually going to live in this house we're building, and it's crazy because we've been building sheds for 2 years now. Now this is a huge house. And all these skills you've learned in shop, you're applying. Oh yeah, and we're still learning. There's so much to learn from actually being in the house, in the field, doing the work. It's a great experience. And I was fortunate enough to go to the job site, I don't know, back on one of those cold December days. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I would, if I was driving by, I wouldn't know if it was high school kids. You guys, are out there with Mr. Roy, and you were all rocking your tool belts and doing what you had to do and on task and hard hats, and I mean, it was amazing. We haven't seen a house built in a few years, so this is
Allen Avenue was the last one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's probably 5
Before
years
my
ago.
tenure, yeah.
It was a while back, so that's cool. So talk about skills. What made you get involved in skills, and what in particular are you going to be working on?
Well, a lot of my friends were in skills in and out of this school, so I thought it would be a good experience, something to compete in. And I'm going to be competing in cabinet making.
Okay.
So if I pass the written assessment, I'll be building a small cabinet based on the drawings or blueprints I'll be getting, and I'll have a few tools that I'll have to use. For example, a table saw, laminate trimmer, hand drill, and a hinge boring machine. So that's exciting. I built a few cabinets in shop, so
okay.
Got a little experience.
Is that kind of what you want to go into eventually? Where do you see yourself?
Yeah, I like finished work a lot. I'm actually going to be going on co-op soon, probably the next few weeks, and I'll be doing finished work. Okay, excellent. Yeah, I knew you were talking about that. So
where are you co-oping?
With TNT General Contracting.
Nice.
Very good.
I'm excited.
Yeah, that's good. Are you nervous about going and competing against strangers and peers?
Yeah, I've got a feeling it's going to be pretty overwhelming being in the whole different school, far away, bunch of kids competing at the same time. So.
Now, do you bring your own tools? I mean, I know you can't bring table saws, but will you bring drills and your own?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm not really sure. I can imagine.
Yeah. Okay.
It would. But
yeah, that's good. I mean, just from last year, I know the construction. The collision. Student, I mean, wasn't he 8 hours just working on his project? I mean, that's pretty intense.
Collision and construction, carpentry. start 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning and don't finish. And they don't finish till like 3:30 in the afternoon. So.
Very good. Well,
Yeah,
good luck to you.
It's a long day competition.
Yeah, good luck to you. Good luck to you
Thanks.
on co-op. Good.
Thank you.
I know you've been working hard, so that's exciting. We're proud of you.
Thanks.
Real good. All right, Josh, not a stranger to the show. How you doing?
Good, you?
Good. Same deal. You're working on a house as well.
Yep, just
How's that whole experience?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like I can't believe we're building a house for somebody, like Damon said, and
Yeah.
it's like that's gonna be there forever. So if we ever have kids, go by, we can be like, we built that house when we were in high school. It's a cool experience.
Yeah, and I mean, being a part of a team, at least when I was visiting, I mean, you guys were all working, collaboratively with each other. I mean, it was just the chemistry when I saw it. It looked pretty good. Everybody kind of pulls their weight. And, yeah, and you have some 10th graders out there as well,
Yeah,
too,
we
right?
have 2 10th graders.
Yeah,
with us.
I think that's amazing. Yeah, so what are you doing with skills?
I'm doing carpentry, so I'm doing the framing aspect of it.
Okay.
I take a test first, just like Damon does with cabinet making, and then I go on and I build like a little tiny mock-up of a shed.
Wow.
And it's going to be a steel framing, wood framing, and then you have to build a window.
Okay, and this is your first year in skills?
No, my second year.
Oh, you did it last year?
Yeah.
Okay, how'd you do last year?
I got 4th.
Veteran, if you will.
That's great.
My goal is to get top 2 this year.
Yeah, we got no pressure, but we got high hopes for you, buddy. So, yeah.
But no pressure.
But no pressure at all. Bring back the gold. That's great.
Yeah, his classmate, Vitaly Nazareth, has competed for 3 years and has been to the state competition building the small mock-up for the last, I think, 2 years.
Yeah.
And so he got 4th in the state competition. So we have high hopes for him to hopefully get the gold medal this year.
Sure. And just also, and we'll go through this kind of quick. We won't be able to hit everybody, but just in construction, we have Lauren Campanola doing cabinet making, and then Damon and Josh, and then Reese.
Yes.
Magni,
He's new to skills, yeah.
and then you mentioned Vitaly. So that's good. Yeah, and are all the shops, how many shops are represented?
We have 10 shops represented.
10 out of 12.
10 out of 12 is fantastic.
Maureen, nice job.
Yes,
This
so
is
we're
great.
aviation technology right now. There is a national group, but they don't have it in Massachusetts. So we're hoping to get that started in the next few years.
Okay. Let's get to the gals, because we're time is ticking.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have Cassandra and Brooke with us.
Hi.
11th graders.
Yes.
Right? So your guys are in the healthcare industry, specifically Allied. And talk a little bit about what's going on in shop, in co-op, in certifications, and in skills.
Well, lately we've just been going out to clinical. We go out to clinical 3 days a week, working on our personal care skills, our activities of daily living.
Where do you go? What sites do you go to?
We go to the gardens on Feeding Hills Road, and then we go to it's called Genesis now on East Silver Street. And we can't go out on co-op until we get our certification at the end of June, so we have a little bit of way to go.
Are you guys both thinking of staying in healthcare? Is that kind of your focus?
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing surgical technician when I get out to go to STIC for 2 years, and then hopefully, like, when I get my certification for that, I can just work my way up and maybe become a surgeon.
Excellent program. Shout out to our good friend Chris Scott,
Sure.
the Dean of the Allied Health Sciences faculty at STCC. Fantastic program they have.
Excellent. How about you, Cassandra?
I'm not really sure yet. I'm thinking about going into travel nursing. I'm not
really?
really sure where I want to go yet. Maybe AIC.
What's travel nursing?
Like a nurse who travels around.
I knew she was going to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can work in Hawaii for like 8 weeks.
Like
like
home
so like-
health care, that
transfer
kind of.
somewhere else.
So like really travel.
Yeah.
Not going from Southwick to Agawam.
No.
You're like like Charlotte to.
A geographical floating nurse, yeah.
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 So that's good. Excellent. So talk about skills. What are you guys going to be competing in?
I'm going to be doing the nurse assistant. I have to take a written test like everybody else, but it's basically if I get to states, I'll be performing like personal care, like what we do at the clinical sites, like washing someone, or like demonstrating different tasks that we're trained in and things like that.
Yeah, like don't you like
Because I've never seen it. When you're doing your competition, are you working on live human beings, or are you working on models?
So Skills USA, they have maybe eight to 12 stations set up, and they'll have a live model in a bed, and they'll be told to transfer the person to the wheelchair. So they're looking for safety techniques, how you're putting the gait belt around the person, communication skills, making sure you're hitting all the points to safely get them from point A
So this
to
is a
point B.
really real experience.
Yes, if you're at States, it's live people.
You want to volunteer, Joe, to be a...
You know,
You might have someone put TED stockings on your foot.
anything I can do to help the cause.
Sure.
So they do have a fancy, at Nationals, they had the blood pressure arm that's automated electrical, and we did get one of those last year with our budget. So it's kind of exciting. So the freshmen could see some more technology, and you can set the blood pressure to whatever you want and listen with a stethoscope, and
How do you
the noise.
feel these young ladies are going to do in competition?
I'm very excited, very excited. We have
Well, you have a lot from
Cassie
Ally.
going. Why don't you tell them what you're going in, Cassie?
I'm doing medical terminology. I'll be taking a test to evaluate the knowledge of medical terminology and abbreviations of an individual preparing for employment in the health occupations field.
Wow.
So last year we had Ala Dukan and Lisa Lapko go for medical terminology. So
Who are
Cassie's
receiving their pins on Friday.
Yeah.
Cassie's up for some competition there, but these girls went as juniors also. Lisa Lapko took the gold medal, and Ala Dukan took the silver medal. So
That is great.
hopefully we can sweep this year over at districts. And
Hey,
take
let's
all
not get ahead of ourselves.
three.
I mean, I like your confidence, but let's,
I'm
only
pretty confident.
Maureen, you know I'm
Miss
kidding.
Petito is an excellent
You know I'm kidding.
teacher for medical terminology, and we have area colleges hopefully articulating that program so these
Yes.
kids can get some college credit.
That's great.
So.
And as we close out, and we will get them on the show, but we wish graphics good luck. We have some folks from Collision Tech going as well. Let's see, IT. They do a nice job. Business Tech, electrical. Yeah, they'll be competing. Automotive Tech. So
We will be well represented.
yeah, this is great stuff. So great job.
Very excited.
Shout out to you because I know you put a lot into it.
Yeah. Big Skills USA meeting today. So
Oh yeah, I saw that the 15th.
permission
Right.
slips will be going out for the district competition.
All right, producer Pete has given me that signal that our time is up. We want to wish everybody a very pleasant weekend. For those of you who are not going to be working next week due to the February vacation, have a safe and relaxing vacation. And please stay tuned for the Superintendent Spotlight. I can hear a trifecta behind me, so you'll want to remain with us so that you can give a holla for Zap, Chris, and Paula.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Longmeadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Longmeadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. Visit on the web at baystatedental.com. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
Friday mornings is something different on 89.5 FM. It's JP's Talk About Town.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University. This is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Good morning and welcome to Superintendent Spotlight. We are at our last broadcast here at the press room today, and that's a little sad, but if you're listening, I know you can come down to the press room. We are broadcasting live. We will continue our show, just not next week. We are taking the week off as for February recess, or winter recess. But
then you'll be back up in the confines of WSKB.
That's right.
Are we going
for
there?
a couple weeks? Yeah, for a couple weeks until Patrick comes back.
Okay.
Because Mark Auerbach needs to do phone interviews, so I got to do it up there.
Okay, and then WTA eventually, or no?
And then, I talked to the people at Tigers Pride, and they said, as long as you don't get in our way, we're good. So that means we'll be on the stage.
Okay.
Well, it is.
They're busy in there. Wow.
Wait a minute. What's going on around here, Pete?
I don't know.
Paula is my guest host today because Chris is a guest today, but we're gonna let him still do the sports.
Role reversals.
And the streak
is over.
The streak.
There's no sun out there. There's not
We have
going to be any day
clouds
today.
and fog and 37. I was simply going to say that.
High of 56 today, though, folks.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is bittersweet, though. This is
It
bittersweet.
is, definitely,
because,
yeah.
This has been a great place for us to do the show at.
It really has.
Patrick's amazing. I mean, this is an incredible location. But
I asked him if we could stop by and just have coffee anyway.
yeah, absolutely. But
From
but
time
it
to
is-
time.
No,
it is-
you know what?
yeah.
He's psyched because now he gets out of his business to go over to Tigers Pride.
Yes, he does.
Right. Well, that's what I was going to say, but it is exciting to broadcast from Tigers Pride. No question.
And then eventually the studio next door.
Right.
You did know Tigers Pride is having their breakfast buffet.
I sure did. I'm going to be there about 11:30.
I heard about it and I went, I'm not going to miss the breakfast buffet this year.
This is what's on the menu. $8 all you can eat, folks.
Oh boy! Well, we're starting with New England clam chowder, French onion soup. You could have a garden salad, but it is breakfast.
Yeah.
So you could get carved baked ham, broiled Boston scrod, baked stuffed chicken breast, buttermilk pancakes. They have really, really good pancakes.
They do.
Weston scrambled eggs, which I think have peppers and onions maybe in them.
Mhm.
Correct.
Omelets made to order. I can't swear. They're really kicking. Belgian
Kick
waffles
butt.
made to order. Eggs Benedict. Mrs.
Eggs Benedict
Darge's
is my favorite. Mine too. I am.
Okay. But I
all
don't know.
about
They
it.
make really good sausage and bacon, home fries, vegetable medley. Chris, they do have some fresh cut fruit for you.
There you go.
some
Yes.
pastries. But for me, coffee.
Yes.
Oh, and they have some other drinks
And as a
too.
reminder, 10:45, 12:15, enter from the gymnasium entrance. There's a sign right on Smith Avenue where to go.
So get there and eat a lot.
Absolutely. So today we have Susan Dargy, who was one of our guest hosts last week. Paula was a guest host last week too when we were at the science fair. By the way, wasn't that awesome last
That
week?
was amazing.
Unbelievable.
Talking
Amazing.
to those students.
The talent.
Yeah.
And seeing the projects. I mean, we started there when we were there. Alone, talking to each other.
Yeah.
And then by the time we were done, the energy in there, the projects, the students.
Did you see the pictures that I posted? The
I
two
did.
pictures? The
I
one
did.
the one we started on
Can
Facebook?
you take one for today too, because it's our last day?
Sure, I can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. We need to capture.
We need to capture that. I can tell you that after listening to the student talk about the germs on the keyboards too, as soon as I got back to my office, I totally disinfected my keyboard. And then, of course, and Cindy, I don't know if she's listening, whoops, but Cindy did the same thing. And I didn't realize there were that many germs on your keyboard.
Oh, yeah.
Like worse than a toilet bowl.
Do we want to talk about your cell phone?
That's another, same concept. But I at least, when I clean my glasses, I'll do my phone with alcohol wipes. But you never think of your keyboard, right? So, anyway, Science Fair was awesome. Today we're going to talk about the transition plans with 5, 6, 7, 8, and we have the co-chairs with us. We'll get back to that in a second. Next week will be a best of show. March 1st, we have our CPAC group. They're going to be with us. We're going to talk about Special Education Parent Advisory Council. On the 8th of March, we have Denise Rizala. Martha Von Mering, our new Special Education Director, will be my guest host that day. And we're going to talk all about MCAS. And then on the 15th, Franklin Ave Elementary School, Denise is going to be the guest host with you, and you're going to be talking with Chris Tolpa about Franklin Ave.
All right.
And then on the 22nd, we have Martha Von Mering. We're going to talk all about special ed. And then the 29th, we're going to talk with Tina Macy from VIPS all about Into the Arts. So we have some great shows coming up.
Right.
Wow.
And we're booked almost until April.
Absolutely. And if you're looking tomorrow, if you happen to be downtown between 9:30 and 10, you might see a plane coming.
We get to wave to it.
We
with
get to
our
wave to the
flags.
plane.
At least I don't have to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning this time.
That is, although that was fun.
It was fun. It was
really
a blast.
fun. It really,
It really
a good
This is a
time.
little bit better, though, right?
It was
Pete?
cool.
It is.
No, that was cool. Towing
Yeah.
a plane through the city. That was
You don't
cool.
see that very often.
Correct, Right. yes.
In fact, maybe ever. But this time we're putting it on a flatbed, and we're going to move it to the Pitts SC-10 something numbers. I don't know. It's a small plane.
I think it's the same plane that Jason Flood flew over the summer at the air show.
Yes, it is. I think
The
it is.
Pitts
You're right.
PT-109.
PT-109, that's it. And it was been donated to the program, so they want to move it into a classroom at Westfield Technical Academy. So if you see a plane in a flatbed, just know it's us. And that's going to happen between 9:30 and 10 o'clock. Great to see that, the horticulture and aviation students working hand in hand. Not a match you would normally make, so that's good. But again, back to today. So we have our 5-6 co-chair, Susan Dargy. Good morning, Susan. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Happy to be here today.
Thank you. And Chris Rogers, moving seats today because he's a guest instead of a host.
Yeah, this is
although
weird.
he's
I'm
gonna
on
do
the
both.
other side of the table today.
You are.
So
Isn't it
this-
weird?
Yeah, it's a little
Orientation?
bit different.
It
Yes,
is.
it is.
Wait till we get to the studio.
I know.
And of course, you're a co-chair from the 7-8 committee. So we're going to talk about those proposals. And I want to remind, well, first, Paula, when is the school committee going to talk about it?
Oh, well, there's a special school committee meeting on Tuesday, February 27th at City Council Chambers beginning at 6 p.m. with the Educational Planning and Technology Subcommittee as well as the Curriculum Instructional Subcommittee. We'll review proposals for K-4 redistricting, K-5 grades 5 to 6 school redesign. I really need some more coffee, Superintendent. Maybe you could get me some at
Working on
break.
it. We gotta have
Grade 7 to
that.
8 school design. And the floor will be open for public participation.
Right. And that's
So
the
again,
purpose of this
it
meeting,
really
because March 5th at the full school committee meeting, we anticipate a vote from the school committee on the plan. So, and that's a great segue to, let's talk about the process. Susan, Chris, jump in anytime. I think the process was great, but you guys lived it. So what do you think? Talk about it.
I think we had a great process. You had invited any staff member
Any.
and parents that
Any and all.
wanted to be involved.
And no one was turned away, folks. I just want to point that out.
Exactly. Everyone
That is a good
who
point.
sent an email to you indicating their interest was placed on a work group. We had what we called an executive board, a transition team that was made up of 8 people, including
9, because we added Chris.
right, and including
We expanded it.
co-chairs from all of the work groups.
Correct.
And each work group met and reported back to the transition e-board
Right.
for decisions. So I co-led, along with Katie Burke, the 5-6 work group. And we had 2 elementary principals on our group,
Right.
Sal Frieri of Munger Hill and
All right,
Kathy
so I did
O'Donnell
volunteer all the principals. I'm
at
gonna tell you I did
SRS.
that.
Well, they did volunteer themselves.
Yes, they did.
Yes, they were happy to be
Part
part,
of it,
the
absolutely.
decision making and the development of the model. We also on our group had teachers, because this 5th grade is part of our elementary schools and 6th grade part of our middle school
Right.
currently. We had teachers from both elementary and middle school. We had Mary Keene, a teacher at North Middle School, Lauren Pandolfi, 5th grade at Franklin Avenue, and we had Michelle Tarbox, health and PE lead teacher, elementary. We had Thomas Underwood, assistant principal at North.
Yep.
Nick Witherell, 6th grade teacher at South Middle School, and Matt Roth, 6th grade teacher at North Middle.
Nice group. You had a parent too,
We
right?
did. We
Yeah.
were fortunate to have Meredith Saloy, and she has daughters that are not at middle school level yet. Her 4th grade student will be going into the 5-6 school. So we had an
Perfect.
excellent group. We met about 10 times over the course of this process. And as the name implies, work group.
Right.
We
You
also
worked.
did work outside of those 10 meetings to research best practices related to this intermediate ages 10 to 12 years old, this school design. We contacted the 16 schools in Massachusetts that have this model, and we gathered information and ideas from the principals there. We selected a couple of exemplars after those initial contacts to visit. So we had a team of our work group that visited Tewksbury and Shrewsbury, and we also visited Agawam, which
Right.
is the only other local
They have the similar
school
model
that
what we're going
has
to,
this
right?
5-6, yes. And it was an excellent process, along the way, we developed some guiding principles that helped us to keep our work focused and on track.
Could you share those with us? I think that people
Sure.
want to hear that.
Yes, I do.
Me too.
We knew that we wanted to design a school that was going to meet the needs of those 10 to 12-year-olds. And we were looking at the physical needs, their social emotional needs, their language, and cognitive needs. So we looked at some developmental research about what students of those ages really need in order to have optimal learning. Many times we came back to that when we talked about various components. Well, remember, we said students need movement. We wanted to focus in on those different areas that we had identified. We are blending a previously elementary and middle school grade level, so we wanted to take the best aspects of both of those models and blend them. We wanted to design a school where all content areas, English language arts, math, science, and social studies are represented separately, but allowing optimal integration of those subjects. And we really wanted to design a school that allows all students exposure to all special subject areas so that they can identify their passions. We wanted to have a school that was a bridge between a K-4 elementary and a 7-8 middle school leading to a high school. And lastly, this is something that we learned from our conversations with principals who are leading these schools currently and teachers in these schools, that it's important to have a school with consistency across the two grade levels. We will have an increased transition, which we know.
Right, we do.
But the benefits of this type of design are great. So
Sure.
we know that if we can keep consistency within each school, then it makes those transitions smoother.
Perfect. All right. And thank you for all of that. We have to take a break. It is 9:23 a.m., 38 degrees outside with a little bit of fog. So drive careful, folks. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Wally Computer Associates, one of the largest technology providers in North America. Headquartered in Southwick, Wally provides all of the products and services that you'd expect from a world-class technology partner to schools, colleges, businesses, as well as state and local governments and agencies. Wally Computer Associates, meeting all of your technology needs. On the web at WCA.com. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Comcast and Xfinity.com. With the Xfinity Double Play and Xfinity Triple Play, you can choose to bundle Comcast services for a great value. Experience Xfinity TV, Internet, home phone, and home security services. Explore all that Xfinity has to offer in the Westfield area on the web at Xfinity.com.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Rocky's Ace Hardware for all your winter snow removal needs. Plus, you'll experience our legendary helpful service in every department. Rocky's, rock solid service since 1926.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Commercial Distributing Company of Westfield. Now in its third generation of family ownership, Commercial is one of the premier beverage distributors of Western Massachusetts. The Plasek family and the staff of Commercial Distributing wishes you good times throughout the year and urges you to drink responsibly. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
It's Tuesday morning from 6 till 8. Wow, it's Tuesday with Bob Plass.
Community Radio
89.5 WSKB. Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
And welcome back to Superintendent Spotlight. 9:28 here on a kind of a cloudy Thursday morning, but it's still a great day because it's going to be 56 degrees today in February. I will take that anytime. It could be snow, and we don't want that. So, but today we're talking about the 5, 6, and 7, 8 transition that is going to be affecting Westfield Public Schools next year. We've heard from Susan Dargy about the 5, 6 group and the process that they went through to get where they are, and then we'll talk about that in a little bit. But now we want to hear from the 7, 8 co-chair, Chris Rogers, sometimes my co-host.
But not today.
Most of the time.
So, Chris, talk about the process that you guys had.
Well, it's very similar, Stefan, to the process that Susan's team had. And again, going back to square one, where we opened it up to whoever wanted to be part of any work group, within this process. But for the 7-8 work group, Susan's group had a little bit different dynamic with having folks from a current existing elementary school and the middle school together.
Yeah,
we had a little bit differently as we had all middle school people on our team. But with that said, we had folks from both of our current existing middle schools that currently have 2 different schedules, 2 different, X, Y, and Z. I mean, there was we were trying to unite and make a school out of what we currently have. And I was thrilled. I mean, we met 10 times as well. And I can tell you that from where we started to where we finished, that this work group developed into a team. That fully functioning team. That's
great. And you spend enough time together, you hope that happens.
That's right. And, I was one of the co-chairs, as you've mentioned, along with the principal of South Middle School, Mr. Paul Newton. And again, we had representatives from both North Middle and South Middle, including Carrie Camille, who was an art teacher at North Middle School, as well with Caitlin Costello, Cece Costello, social studies teacher at North, David Gomes, fine music teacher from South Middle School, as well as Peg Hill, who is a STEM teacher, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics at South. Greg Miller, the assistant principal at North. Joe Millette, a science teacher at South Middle School. Beth O'Connor, language arts at North Middle School. Pete Lergio, assistant principal at South Middle. Yeah. And we did have 2 principal representatives on the team.
Yes,
like you said, they were voluntold, all right, to be part of the group. One of our radio hosts as well, Joe Langoni from Westfield Technical Academy. And Joe was good to have on the team, too, because Joe does have middle school experience.
He was a principal in Ludlow for a while.
He was. And Cynthia Kennedy, the current principal at Paper Mill Elementary, who had some middle school experience when she was the assistant principal at North Middle, too.
Did you have a parent member
We
of the
we
working
we
group?
we did not have a parent member, unfortunately, but I do want to say that, like I said, we started off as a group coming together from two very, very different middle schools, and by the time we were done, we're a very cohesive team with a very strong plan. The guiding principles of our group, again, knowing that all the 7th and 8th graders in the district are going to be under one roof at South Middle School, we really wanted to design a program that was going to be in the best interests and the needs beyond not just our kids in 7th and 8th grade now, but what are there going to be their needs going forward as they matriculate into our high schools and college and career ready and beyond.
Right.
We wanted to give them a wide scope of learning experiences. One of the challenges I had as a middle school principal was when I would work on the master schedule during the spring and summertime, was how do we fit everything that we need to get into the schedule, as well as give students opportunities to go to school for elective courses that they really like and enjoy, that might be just the hook that they need to stay in school beyond, or to maybe foster a love of a career that maybe they have a pathway to Westfield Technical Academy that way, or maybe we spark an interest in something that helps to push them beyond, grade 12 and something that they might be interested in. And a lot of times it was hard because we would have our 5 core academic subjects, plus if a student needed reading support or math support or an intervention or whatnot, it ate up a lot of the schedule. So, like we talked about, that was really one of our guiding principles, as well as giving students some voice and choice into some of the electives they take.
Sure.
But really trying to spark up a love of going to school in our district, a love of going to school at the new middle school every day. That's really what we were working on. So, yeah, so we met 10 times. I actually underscored it on our original presentation. I said 8, and I went and looked back and said, oh, yeah, we did meet. We did meet a couple of times impromptu as well. And we did, as a group, we looked at research and best practices related to all-around school design, not just middle school design, but some of the latest and best practices in terms of how schools are being and programs are being designed in the 21st century. We talked to representatives from the Association for Middle Level Education, the AMLE, as well as NELMS, which is the New England League of Middle Schools, which is right in our backyard. And the executive director of NELMS, Mr. Jerry Frew, was kind enough to come down and work with our group on as a consultant. And NELMS has what they call spotlight schools. Okay, there's a group of schools throughout New England that are getting it right when it comes to working with middle school age kids. And it's not just grades 7 and 8. And as you know, Susan, there's all these different types of configurations that are out there. 5-6, 5-8, 6-8, 5-8, whatever it is. And, he told us as we were going through the process of planning, these are some of the things you want to look at. To not just some of the things that our spotlight schools do, but these are some of the things that currently middle schools are trying to do in our region. So we really took what Jerry had to say and what he gave us for materials to heart, and try to use that to guide our work. We had multiple site visits, including taking a team to Hurley Middle School in Seekonk, Mass., which is also one of NELMS' spotlight schools. We did.
So you went down to Seekonk.
Did what I say? Up to Seekonk?
Yeah.
Isn't it that? Wait.
You go east and south. That's down.
Well, wait a minute. Seekonk is east, and there's so south. So we went southeast. Is that what we did?
You went down, not up.
Okay.
Y'all love go up. But
Yeah. So we went down then to Enfield, Connecticut, right, or south, and then we would have gone what? Across to Agawam. All right, to junior high to
it's all right,
visit
folks.
with
We
various
really aren't
groups.
that directionally challenged, I swear.
Just someone from the east. Well, you all
Someone from the east has changed our perspective.
Yes,
correct.
Yeah.
First time I've had to use the buzzer on this show in quite some time.
Yes.
And of course,
Where am I right now?
I don't know. But yeah, the bottom line was we did a lot of hard work as a team, and we really wanted to get what was currently going on with middle school design, and we wanted to visit some local middle schools as well as some that were on the other side of the state, right, and over the border, right, and over the border in Connecticut.
That exists? I don't think they think we exist, so.
We are officially listed as Here Be the Dragons.
Yeah.
So following our guiding principles and working as a team, I think we've come up with a pretty solid plan. And we did present it at the school committee meeting on February 5th.
We did,
and we will be, I'll be there, of course, for Q&A on the 27th.
Susan will be too, right?
Yep. Should
Of
the
course.
team have any
And
questions?
Paula,
Right,
too.
exactly.
You will be too, Superintendent.
Well, and to be fair, I think I have to be. But to be fair, I just want to shout out Paula because she actually led the staffing committee too with
And
Denise.
shout out to the superintendent for leading the communications.
Oh, yeah.
subcommittee.
Thank you.
And don't
We met
forget
this
there
morning,
was-
actually.
And there was a third working group that
Right,
is
K
in-
to 4 with Ron Ricks and Pam Kotarski. They led that, and that had to do with redistricting and transportation. Right.
And now they'll be shifting their focus to logistics of
Right.
of the move.
Logistics of the move.
So folks know the 27th. I know I've said this, but the 27th is when public participation will happen, and that's at City Hall in the City Council chambers at 6 p.m. But the on the 5th we have a regularly scheduled school committee, the 5th of March, and that will be when we hope the school committee will vote to adopt or amend or do whatever to the plans. So in terms of the plans now, and Susan, I'm going to come back to you a little bit. What are the basics? Because I know we can't go into a lot of huge details just yet until we're a little more final. But what are some of the basics? Grade 5, 6 school. What can parents and students expect?
So parents and students can expect to be working with more teachers than they currently are in their elementary school model.
All right, so that affects the
So
5th grade
the
piece
5th
particular.
grade, yes, the 5th grade will be consisting of teams of 2 teachers for each group of students.
Okay.
One teacher will teach the humanities, the subjects under the humanities category.
That's
which
English
is-
and social studies typically?
Yes.
Yep.
And then the other teacher will teach the STEM
Science,
categories.
math.
Yes. And those teams will be grouped in neighborhoods, and the neighborhoods may work together on special projects, so they'll have a larger community.
It's time to collaborate, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
But they'll be going from a self-contained environment to having 2 teachers. The 6th grade teams, who are currently 5th graders with a single teacher, will be going into a teaming environment where they may have up to 4 teachers. Some students may still need the smaller nested environment of 2 teachers, and there's flexibility there for scheduling.
Well, we're hoping to personalize learning experiences for the kids as much as possible.
And those smaller teams might be for students who might be English
L1.
language
Yes.
Learners, right.
Who might be newer to our country and need more ESL support, English as a second language support. So they'll have another teacher who works with them in that way. Also,
Or
some of our students
with exceptionalities.
Exactly. Some of those students who have exceptionalities and work with our special educators, they will have another teacher in that person. So it's helping to meet their needs and give them opportunities to have connections with adults, which we know
Yes.
is the most
a key
important
thing.
for success.
Absolutely.
So in addition to having that structure, the teaming structure, students will be attending these 4 core classes that we talked about. English language arts, which is reading, writing, listening, and speaking, math, science, and social studies. And they will also participate in electives. And those electives are health, physical education, art, music, including band and chorus, and technology, which will be focused on digital literacy and applied technology. So digital literacy is more about learning how to use technology, and applied technology is then putting that technology into use
We'll put it to work.
to solve problems and
Right.
advance learning. Yes.
Excellent. All right, Chris.
I'm not just going to say ditto because that'd be copying, right? No, but there
give us
is
something.
Yeah, there is some. There's a lot of continuity, and I just want to shout out to Susan and Katie because what we did as this, and I think we forgot to mention this during the process. During the process, we did not operate as islands on our own. Okay, it wasn't like Susan's work group was working completely in isolation and our work group was working in complete isolation. They attended some of our meetings. We met, Paul and I met
That's
with
great.
Susan
No,
and
I knew
Katie
that.
multiple
But
times.
I want our listeners to know that too.
Right. That we tried to make sure that we had a scope and sequence, grades 5 through 8, that was natural, that flowed, that made sense. I think we're, as far as that goes, I think we're in a real good place.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. And again, our students will be. Currently, our middle school students are part of teams as we speak at both
Right.
North and South Middle School. So that same teaming structure, that's going to continue. So your language arts courses, your science, your social studies, and your mathematics will be taught on team. All
Okay.
right, will be taught on team, and just like the 5-6 school, we will have electives that students can take. Your physical education, your healths, your digital literacies, music, with full day. I shouldn't say full day, rather full year band or chorus opportunities for our students. And again, going back to what do we want to spark interests with kids, and I think foreign language comes to mind. I mean, for years we've offered Spanish in our district. This might be an opportunity to have maybe a survey of foreign language. We talked about maybe having some financial literacy pieces with our 8th graders.
Continuing the digital literacy,
right, and
piece
continuing
too, right.
that digital literacy piece. So we've got quite a few irons in the fire with that, but I'm happy to say I think we've got a very solid plan going forward.
Well, and I guess as a superintendent, I can tell you, I think these plans are phenomenal. The amount of work that went into them were terrific. I appreciate what Paula is going to have to do with the staffing piece too. So really, once this is approved, as I told my communication work group this morning, because we met, buckle up, folks, because we're going to have a lot of work to do for the next few months, and they get that. So, all right, listen, it is 9:43 a.m. I think we are
My
about
word. How quickly the time flies.
It's flying
with
by,
friends.
and we picked up another degree, so we're almost at 40. It's 39
Yes.
now. And again,
WSKB's programming is generously underwritten by Whip City Fiber. Westfield Gas and Electric wants to help you decide where they offer gigabit speed Whip City Fiber Internet next. Turn your neighborhood into a fiberhood. Get on the list today at www.whipcityfiber.com. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Commercial Distributing Company of Westfield. Now in its third generation of family ownership, Commercial is one of the premier beverage distributors of Western Massachusetts. The Plasek family and the staff of Commercial Distributing wishes you good times throughout the year and urges you to drink responsibly. Underwriting support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Greater Westfield Chamber of Commerce, the voice of business for the Greater Westfield communities. Informing, educating, advocating, the Chamber provides opportunities for members to make meaningful connections on local, regional, and state levels. For more information on the Chamber's many events, workshops, and programs, as well as the benefits of membership, visit westfieldbiz.org. The Chamber focuses on the most important economy, yours. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Commercial Distributing Company of Westfield. Now in its third generation of family ownership, Commercial is one of the premier beverage distributors of Western Massachusetts. The Plasek family and the staff of Commercial Distributing wishes you good times throughout the year and urges you to drink responsibly. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646. Wednesday mornings start off right from 6 to 8 a.m. with Tina Gorman and Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
And we're back with Superintendent Spotlight with Zappin. Oh, wait a minute. Zapp and Paula this morning. In segment 3, with our annual, or weekly rather, shot into sports. Boys ice hockey, guys keeping up the good work at Westfield High, 13-2-2. Boys basketball at 10-6. Westfield Technical Academy boys basketball 8-8. So it looks like both of our boys basketball teams are in the hunt to qualify for the Western Mass tournament.
How about the women's sports?
We're getting there. Girls basketball at Westfield High School. Girls at 6-12, but we still have some time left. Girls, keep up the hard work. Girls at Westfield Technical Academy. Still looking for that first win, girls. But we believe in you. We believe it's coming.
Yes.
How about that girls ice hockey team though? That co-op with Long Meadow, outstanding at 8-2. Nice work. Friday night, girls basketball, Westfield High School at East Long Meadow, 7 p.m. While girls ice hockey, again, that Long Meadow co-op going at Suffield at the Enfield Twin Rinks at 8 p.m. Saturday night, boys ice hockey at the Boston Latin School, Murphy Memorial Rink, 2 p.m. That sure is. Good luck, boys. Westfield Technical Academy, tonight, boys basketball at Smith Voke, so that's a little bit of a ride, too.
Yes, it is.
And Friday night, girls basketball at Commerce. And very limited Yankee talk today as we're only in day 3.
So, Susan, what do you think? How about those
We're at day 3 of pitchers and catchers reporting.
Hey, did CC get hurt? I think Sabathia may have
he
gotten
rolled his
hurt.
ankle yesterday on pitchers fielding drills, but he walked off saying he was fine. And of course, Sox are also at spring training.
Yes.
So
Hey, Dylan Patansis lost about 20 pounds.
He
you
did.
see that? They think that's going to help him.
And he's focused a lot on his mechanics in the off season.
How are you doing today?
All I know is the Daytona 500 is Sunday.
There you go. That too.
Right.
But speaking of new introductions.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
So on Thursday, March 1st, I believe that's in 2 weeks from now?
It is, yep.
Superintendent, from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. at the Westfield Technical Academy cafeteria, you're invited to meet our new Administrator of Special Education and Student Support Services, Dr. Martha Von Mehring.
Right.
Please note that she is left-handed, so it brings the amount of administrators at Central Office team to an unusually high percentage of
left-handed people.
people.
What does that mean?
That's why we have such a great team.
That's why we
Left-handed people
have
are
a
right-minded.
We're carrying those righties.
I'm right-handed. What does that mean about me? I don't know.
You know how to
You're
put
in your
together a
right
good
mind.
team.
There you go. Okay.
So
thank
what
you.
I'm trying to tell is the listening audience is please go out and meet Dr. Martha Von
Yes,
Meering. She does
indeed.
come to us from Springfield Public Schools
She
with
does.
many years of experience in special education, and we're very excited. I think I could speak for all of the people here.
She's doing a
from
great
Central
job.
Office.
She is.
We're thrilled.
So please take time on Thursday, March 1st between 6:30 and 8:30 p.m. to go to the Tech Academy in the cafeteria.
And you got something going on tonight, don't you?
Tonight is one of our Title I family nights. One of the old-time classics and favorites. Good old bingo for books, taking place at Highland Elementary
I
School.
like bingo.
Oh man,
Are
bingo
you
for
calling
books
it,
is
sir?
outstanding.
No.
But it is open to families.
No. I do that once a year.
Right. And I can't be
All
there tonight
families
myself.
or just
K to
some
5. It's open to all families K to 5 at Highland tonight. It's free. You play bingo, you win books. Tonight it's 6:30 to 7:30 at Highland Elementary School. Perhaps you'll be getting a text message today from us reminding our families of that. But if you do want to reserve a spot now, feel free to contact my assistant, Chelsea Pettit, at c.pettit@schoolsofwestfield.org.
And that's P-E-T-I-T-T.
And that is Pettitt at
Now, do you have to
schoolsofwestfield.org.
be only from a Title I school?
No,
and again, anyone
great
Anybody
question.
K to 5. Yeah.
Any of our K-5 families can join us tonight for bingo
Can
for
we
books.
come with our students?
Of course they can. And I unfortunately I cannot be there as I will be coaching a basketball game in Springfield at the same time.
Oh,
So-
all right.
At the Basketball Hall of Fame?
No, at an elementary school in Springfield. My team is not quite ready to perform
At the Hall of Fame?
Hall of Fame yet.
Not just yet?
Not yet.
All right, Paula, we got to wrap up a little bit. We got about 6 or 7 minutes. Let's talk. I know you wanted to have some questions you wanted to,
So
ask our guests.
some of our listening audience might be, that's great, but why are we doing a redistricting plan? Why, Superintendent, are we doing this?
Sure.
My co-host will take it.
Well, I think
my co-hosts.
that's right. One of the things that I think most folks know is that we have had since our for lack of a better term, our lease expired at Juniper Park Elementary School as
Right.
part of Westfield State University. We've had our students, so some of our students attending school outside of the city lines. So we've had
Russell
students
Elementary,
going
which
to
is a great
Russell
drive,
Elementary.
by the way, but it is a
Well,
drive.
it is.
It's a great school.
And we
Yep, great
love,
school.
by the way, we love Russell Elementary. But Russell Elementary is closing. So because one of our goals is to bring our students back within the city limits.
Exactly.
And
we have the means to do it.
We do have the means to do it. But with that said, though, it wasn't just as simple as, hey, let's bring our students back to Russell and put them into our current schools.
Well, they wouldn't
because
fit.
They wouldn't fit, to be quite honest.
Under
with you.
the current configuration
Under the current
of elementary
configuration.
being K to
Correct.
5.
So we've put it, that really went into our thinking of, well, that means we're going to have to move our fifth graders out of our current elementary schools. They're going to have to move, for lack of a better term, up, right, which is why Susan's team is designing the 5-6 school. And with that said, it allowed us to bring all of our students from across the city in grades 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 together.
Right, and there was some studying done about 2 different models to make that move. We
Whether it was
talked
going to
about
be 2 5 to 8
5
schools,
and
or
8.
5, 6, 7, 8, right?
And we had community participation
Surveys,
and commenting,
yep.
and the school committee took that vote, and we adopted the
It
models
was actually
of 5, 6,
70-30 was the
7, 8.
breakdown from the community, and well over 2,000 votes as well.
So clearly a lot of community support,
Right.
staff support, parent support for this model. And really, although the plan came out of a need that was more logistic, it really is an opportunity. And the opportunity is what we focused on.
Indeed.
An opportunity to develop some great educational models and to eliminate a north-south middle school divide that made it difficult to always have common programming and opportunities. This way,
Now all of our students are going to have access to the same
Exactly.
things. Exactly.
And
And
so
they'll
it
move
allows in
together.
the 5-6 as well as 7-8 horizontal, so grade-wise, as well as vertical within the school alignment, and in fact allows more links and more common linkage that perhaps
Exactly.
might not have been. We're going to strengthen those through the new model. I
We
believe.
will. Our 5th grade teachers have been operating in 7 different schools in the
Sure.
city. And now they have the opportunity to bring their combined expertise together, to share ideas and materials, collaborate with one another for the benefit of our students. And they are all really excited about that and the opportunity for vertical alignment with their 6th grade partners who they really have had limited contact with until
Right. Sure.
now.
Sure, and ditto for the 7 and 8 school too. I mean, if you were last spring when we went out and we were getting feedback from all stakeholders, I mean, we talked to teachers, we talked to parents, we talked to kids, we talked to administrators, we talked to everybody. That was something that came out loud and clear from the teachers was
did.
what an opportunity for us to be able to collaborate together as a unified grade level and a unified school within the city.
Well, and I think there are going to be some growing pains in
Of course.
this. I mean, we have to be realistic about it. Change is difficult. If you've noticed, all the songs that I picked for today have the word change in it. So
But from change
Subliminal
comes growth.
message.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that's the thing. So again, is it going to be 100% perfect on day one? No. And I hope folks, both staff, parents, students, everyone has to realize that. But I think we're putting our best foot forward here. And the amount of planning that's gone into this, I don't think we could have done anything more in terms of even getting public participation, getting staff participation.
I totally agree.
I think, this has been a very well thought out process. And, I'm happy with it.
And we'll keep those lines of communication open.
Absolutely.
Throughout the development and the school
And
over
implementation.
the course, implementation over the next years. This is a process, as you said.
And what you said, Susan's right on. This is not one and done. This is a multi-year process before we get good at it.
Exactly.
Truly.
All right, folks, it's 10 o'clock. Our time is up. I can't
Oh, my
believe
word.
it. Wow. That just flew by today. This is, again, our last day here at the press room. So,
Yeah.
Thank you,
with a little bit of sadness,
Patrick.
thank you, Patrick,
We
for letting us
appreciate
come
it.
crash your place once a week. But next week, again, we are off, and then we'll have a best of show. And the week after, we will be back. We will be back at the studio, Chris. And that might be your first time doing
First
a show
time
there
over the
forever,
studio,
right?
yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
So that'll
Coming
be fun.
up to my neck of the woods.
There, exactly.
Yes,
yeah.
indeed.
All right,
Indeed.
folks. Thanks. Have a